because I'm doing my work.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Prime Time, episode number 814, here on July 27, 2017, our final show of July. Damian Nelson sitting alongside one David Hero. David, how the heck are you? Not that I care, but there are 2 to 3 of our thousands who might want to know.
There's at least 200 to 300,000 that want to know. I'm the superhero.
In your own mind.
I bring balance to this show.
In your own mind.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you.
How was your week? You're not glad to see you.
Seriously, it was a solid week.
What was the highlight of your week? Since last Friday, our last show that we broadcast. Was it Battleground last Sunday? That had to be the highlight of your week.
No, it was fun. You know, it was good. I mean, just so much great stuff happening this week. You know, NXT in Milwaukee.
That's tonight, actually.
Yeah, you know, and then
Turner Hall.
They're in Green Bay tomorrow, and you know, I got the big Casa Rumble, Al Snow versus Abyss in a street fight. I am the special guest referee. Linda Kay, you know Linda Kay. She's the ring announcer now.
No, I used to know Linda Kay.
Is that someone that you used to know?
Well, when she went whoring around with you down in Jamaica.
We weren't whoring around.
$27,049.72.
It's therapeutic.
You do realize that because of your actions and shenanigans, we are no longer able to support our events that we were going to be doing in New York.
That is not
for SummerSlam.
That's not my fault.
Then whose fault is it, David Hero, that you wiped out the coffers of the Pro Wrestling Report bank account?
Why don't you blame who everybody else has been blaming?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to get to this week's Raw. I'd like to blame the 45th president on a lot. I'd like to blame him for a great economy. I'd like to blame him for millions of jobs being recreated. I'd like to blame him for the fact that 20 million people who didn't have health care now have access to it. That's what I'd love to blame him for. What do we want to blame the 46th for? It's this week's Raw Report and an active edition. That is true. Well, he said so. This week's edition of WWE Raw Report. And a lot happening, including the SummerSlam main event, has been set and locked. It will be a fatal four-way. Brock Lesnar, only a 25% chance of winning and retaining his WWE Championship as he goes up against Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. A hot and active start to the broadcast this past Monday night, including a pull-apart from the entire rest of the locker room.
You know what's so great about this main event? It's what wrestling is supposed to be.
How so, David?
Big, gigantic beasts fighting.
Talk about Roman Reigns.
I am going to call this main event 305 Live.
What do you mean?
Because everyone's at least over 300 pounds or close to it.
Oh, because you're a weight cyst. I forget.
Yeah, I am. I'm a weight cyst.
You're a weight cyst. You can't even say it.
I don't know why you say that. It's rude. It's obnoxious. It's not true.
Much like your assessment of anybody under 305 pounds.
You have guys that are over 6 feet tall, guys that are over 275 pounds, you know, that punch and kick and are violent and don't need to flip and fly.
But they do elbow drops. I saw Big Cass do several this past Monday night.
But he's not in the main event.
But he's over 305 live.
Yeah, but an elbow drop is not the same thing as a...
I thought it was like a punch, a kick, and a flip.
No, it's a drop. It's great. It's great. It's, you know what? It's interesting because you have elevated two guys that I never would have thought would be in a main event of a Big Four.
Namely?
Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman. A year ago, Braun Strowman was a sideshow act. I honestly, for the longest time, never thought some of these TNA stars would fit into the WWE mold.
So they've proven your TNA stink theory wrong.
Yeah.
Wow, you're admitting that you're wrong.
Because they got, as talented as Samoa Joe and AJ Styles are, they got the machine behind them. So their talents with the machine behind them, those two guys are on the top of both brands.
Here's a valid question, I think, at least in my opinion, one I challenged myself with earlier this week during WWE Raw. Is Braun Strowman the biggest built star in WWE in the last 10 years, maybe even longer? Meaning from the ground up, they have built a monster, a legitimate threat to Brock Lesnar, a main event star from the ground up, and the fans have embraced it just about every step along the way. Now, his initial introduction with the Wyatt family wasn't as vivid, but all of that combined, culminated with him now being in the main event of SummerSlam. I don't think they've built a bigger star in recent history.
The Shield as a unit, you could say that. Bray Wyatt, maybe close.
Okay, that was 5 years ago.
But
Bray Wyatt, yeah, but he didn't. I guess you can't. for time periods, if you compared the two, yes, I would agree. But Bray Wyatt has fizzled substantially since.
Yeah, but Braun Strowman, he's not even a heel anymore. I mean, he's cheered. He punches people and they cheer.
He's riding the line, huh? He's a tweener.
I wish it was Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar one-on-one.
Why?
Because I think it could be an Andre the Giant Hulk Hogan type match.
Already?
Yes.
Explain.
Braun Strowman hasn't been beat. I don't consider that little 30-second gimmick with The Rock at WrestleMania a couple years ago anything. Mm-hmm. Braun Strowman has not been cleanly defeated. Right?
Mm-hmm. Not that I can recall. I'm sure we'll be told if wrong.
He could be the Andre the Giant. You have Brock Lesnar, the Beast.
Incarnate.
Who, he did the job to Goldberg, and he's lost to John Cena, but with the exception of the loss to Goldberg, every match that Brock Lesnar has lost has been a gimmick match. Mm-hmm. In a cage or a street fight or something like that where they can use gimmicks to beat him. Right now, there are two guys I would not want to walk down a dark alley into. It's Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar.
Much more discussion on SummerSlam as the event draws more near from Brooklyn's Barclays Center next month. But in a final question to this topic, is this match more than meets the eye? Meaning, is there a reason there are 4 men in this match? Will we see something big happen at SummerSlam?
Well, I think you need the 4 guys in there because Brock is going to go away after this match again for a little bit.
But nobody is thrown into this matchup. All 4 men belong in this matchup.
I mean, well, Joe is the X factor because he lost.
But he
lost.
But he had Lesnar reeling for a while in that match.
He lost clean. But in Reigns and Strowman, how many more matches can they have?
Well, I think one other consideration in this matchup is what Roman Reigns said this past Monday night. I beat Taker. I've headlined 3 WrestleManias. Mm-hmm. What have y'all done? It's valid.
Extremely. But Braun Strowman, I honestly believe, is going to leave SummerSlam as a champion.
Yeah, save it for Be the Booker because things might change before then. But with that in mind, this past Monday night, we also saw the debut wrestling contest on Raw of Kurt Angle's biological son, Jason Jordan. You seem to be done with this already in week 2. What?
Jason Jordan, fantastic talent.
He looks like me a little bit, I'm told.
Yeah, you guys have
slightly smaller.
Yeah, slightly. You're slightly smaller. The first promo, hey Dad, it's like, who are you? Howdy doody all of a sudden? It's like, have a little bit of fire, have a little bit of emotion, be a little bit cocky that your dad's in charge and you're going to own this thing, but to be the all-American good boy.
But that's what Kurt Angle was, the 3 eyes, integrity.
Angle was a prick when he
Not at first.
Yes,
no,
he was.
He was better than you. He was, but he underlying in all that was that goody boy.
When he started, he was the heel. Better than everybody.
Okay.
So Jason Jordan should be doing.
Okay.
Right now, I want to see him turn on Kurt immediately.
Why? Because you can't wait? You're like a lot of the audience? You want it now? You can't see the finish, the end?
The first promo, for me, absolutely sucked. There's no reason to get behind him. You're a grown man. You were adopted into a good family that took care of you. There's no sympathy there. You didn't grow up on the streets. No reason to get behind you.
Why would he have grown up on the streets?
Well, if he wants to go with my daddy, abandoned me. But no, he was adopted into a good home that obviously spent money, gave him a good education. He dresses nice. He's well-spoken. He's a world-class athlete.
How was the match with he and Hawkins?
A clunker.
It was less than impressive. And it should have been better because they're both great talents.
They are both excellent talents. They're both former tag team champions.
We'll see where this story goes. Jason Jordan, the son of Kurt Angle. Bayley qualifies for a championship matchup at SummerSlam, defeating Sasha Banks in a one-on-one contest. I was surprised by this choice, David Hero.
Because, I was going to say Sailor Moon, but Bayley.
Sailor Jack?
No. But, what's her name? Banks.
Sasha Banks?
She's from Brooklyn.
She's the boss,
Yeah. I thought for sure she'd be going to Brooklyn again.
We've got weeks before this match happens, though. Perhaps there could be some shenanigans that take us in a different direction.
I don't want to see a bunch of 3-ways and 4-ways.
Not even with them?
Well, it depends, but not. I don't want to watch a bunch of wrestling 3-ways and 4-ways.
Looks at the credit card statement. You watched a few of those in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, is everything all smeared off now? You look like you have recently been medically treated.
I had to get some blood work done. You know, it's that, you know, every 6 months I go and make sure I'm Kryptonian.
Maybe if you went to the pharmacy more often, you wouldn't have to.
I don't need to go to the pharmacy to get toothpaste and mouthwash.
Folks, also on Raw this past Monday night, we saw the main event feature Miz and his Miztourage against Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
Why is that the... okay. You know, I will stick up for the product. I do. I am the voice of reason on Mondays and Tuesday nights.
You don't like Punk.
But I just couldn't sit through that main event.
It was a nothing show. At the end, it started off great, and it could have ended after that first segment, and I'd have been fine.
Here's why Raw is so much better than SmackDown. The 4 studs... Lesnar wasn't there, but Strowman, Reigns, and Samoa Joe set the table.
Yeah.
Balor isn't
Here we go.
a megastar yet.
Oh, sure he isn't.
He's not.
No. First Universal Champion in history. Of course he's not a megastar.
Yeah, well, you know, Pat Patterson was the first Intercontinental Champion.
Not really.
And
what are you saying about Pat Patterson?
No, Pat Patterson.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer. He was
dirty, rotten son of a...
It just... Seth Rollins has lost some luster.
Yeah.
He's not the guy he was 6 months
I don't
ago.
care about a Shield reformation of those two because how do I say this, David Hero?
I don't know, but you cut me off, but that's fine.
Yeah, you weren't going anywhere. You were babbling and
Ambrose is uneventful.
That's a good way to say it.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Are they purposely... Is there going to be more to the story? It seems like we're on our way to a match between the two at SummerSlam.
I hope so. I mean, that's all you can hope for right now, is that. Don't you agree?
We'll see what happens, folks. But in another story that came to fruition this past Monday night on Raw, Bray Wyatt attacking Finn Balor during his matchup with Elias Sampson. Elias wins the match. As a result of this interference, Bray Wyatt now clearly has his sights set on Finn Balor.
Sampson. It is. He
didn't beat him.
He beat
no,
the
he didn't beat him.
He
didn't.
Universal Champion.
He did not beat him. He beat.
I'm sorry. Whose hand was raised?
Bray Wyatt beat Finn Balor.
But in the record books, it shows Elias Sampson
with an asterisk.
The first doesn't matter.
You know what that is? An ass-terick?
Yeah, you're the Tariq.
You're the ass. Why do you... I'm not going to ask the question again as to why you hate Finn Balor. I think we understand it's because you're a weightist, and we understand that he
if he has to come back as the Demon again, Finn Balor's not over.
But isn't this a perfect scenario for Finn Balor to be the Demon? We haven't seen the Demon since he returned. We have not seen the Demon since he returned.
Exactly.
So it's fitting that 1 year after he first becomes Universal Champion, at the same event, we see the return of the Demon, and it makes perfect sense to bring the Demon back against the demons of Bray Wyatt.
I just think if they need...
You hate him.
No, you only...
Your face says it.
If he has to be the Demon, he's not over as Finn Balor.
So was Mick Foley not over as Cactus Jack when he had to be Dude Love? Was he not over as Dude Love when he had to be...
He couldn't be Cactus Jack.
Oh,
Cactus Jack was suspended.
I think what I'm going to start doing before I sit at this table with you on a weekly basis is to take... No, just Tylenol, like extra strength for the pending headache that I'm going to get trying to follow your logic.
I'm not wrong.
You're not right either. It's not right, but it's okay.
Cactus Jack quit in the middle of the ring. He felt he was unappreciated. Remember? Mm-hmm. It was the week before he came to Milwaukee for the GLCW show.
Folks, I, for one, am excited to see Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt go one-on-one at SummerSlam because it seems like that's what direction we're heading. And also on Raw this past Monday night...
Whoa, pump the brakes, kid. What if it's just Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt? Are you still excited?
Yeah, because Finn Balor's endorsed. I'm a mark for Finn Balor, and I'm not afraid to admit that because I'm not a weightist.
If he's not the Demon, is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I don't need paint and tassels to make him a star. I need the talent that he has to make him a star.
Okay.
And finally... topic of discussion from Raw this past Monday night. Big Cass gets a win over Enzo Amore. With that, ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's edition. That is the Raw report for this week. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back in just about 30 seconds, we're going to talk SmackDown and then DWHS.
Collar and elbow bouts usually began as a contest of balance. The opening position or stance featured the hand and arm positioning which gave the wrestling style its name. Contestants faced one another, each placing one hand on his adversary's shoulder and gripping his adversary's forearm with his other hand. This establishes the opening box, prevents bull-like rushes or throat grabs, minimizes disadvantages in height or arm's reach, and prevents deft footwork. Here, the champion squares off with the challenger. Each holds the stance until his opponent forces or permits him to break.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Damian Nelson Show here on Channel 14 in Milwaukee.
You really think that, don't you? You really think that. It's all about the Damian Nelson Show.
Well, David.
Where's my microphone? I can't even find it anymore. There it is.
Hopefully it's muted again as I've...
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
doing
as...
that?
Well, something happened. I don't know what. Our technical team has been working on it for
I think
the last 12 years.
It's because of my skin color, and I'm offended.
What do you mean? It's because of your skin color? I don't think the skin color works with the, has any issue with the technical abilities of your microphone.
I think you're trying to shut the Tan Man down.
Clearly, folks. It's time to talk WWE SmackDown. As you know, each week, SmackDown is brought to you by our great and tremendous partner, Fight TV. That's F-I-T-E, Fight TV. Great app. You get it on your phone, and you can stream all the great content, including Ring of Honor Wrestling and Impact Wrestling, Global Force Wrestling, on demand, rather. And you can stream it to your television device, your iPad, your whatever, and watch in true glory on the Fight, F-I-T-E.TV app. You can get that app for free right now by going to fight.tv/PWR. That's fight.tv/PWR.
That redheaded chick is on there.
SoCal Val.
Yes.
My co-hostess with the mostest.
The chick that looks like she's from Ninja Turtles. April O'Neil. Right?
SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, this week an eventful show which saw the return of Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho back with the list of Jericho. He would then end up in a United States Championship matchup against AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, a match which would see AJ win back the United States Championship from Kevin Owens, who won it back from AJ at this past weekend's Battleground event, which we purposely haven't talked much about.
Yeah, why is that? I know why. Because the main event involved the tan person.
Randy Orton does have a tremendous tan.
Yeah.
I admire his tan. I aspire to be that tan.
Well, you're on your way. Good for Jericho to come back. It just makes SmackDown that much of a better show again.
Big surprise. Good and a good surprise coming off the heels of that Battleground show.
Jericho has been 20 plus years, and he still means something every time he comes back. No one else has come and gone more than he has. And every time the
Terry
fans,
Funk?
No, not even close. On a large scale.
Yeah.
On the main stage. And the fans still go crazy for Jericho every time he comes back.
That's all you got?
Well,
AJ's new United States champion. Kevin Owens wins it, loses it over a
that's gonna
2-day
get
period.
old. Okay. And now it's hot potato. And I think that's because they're trying to keep interest in that feud to go into SummerSlam.
Folks, at Battleground last Sunday in a Punjabi prison match, Jinder Mahal defeated Randy Orton to retain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship over on the SmackDown side of things, but he did so with a little assistance from the originator of the Punjabi prison match, the Great Khali. No Raja Singh, though. Came back.
You know what? But
and I've said this. I don't know why, but I am a mark for Great Khali. I think it was his music. And, isn't he, as you would say, tan?
he's khaki. He's an expensive tan.
I don't see race, so I didn't even know that until right now. I thought it was fun.
I was watching that main event with Cal, and Cal popped for the Great Khali also. I mean, he thought it was great. I mean, he loved it. Randy Orton almost took a big-ass bump off the top of that gimmick.
He did. He did.
The way he flipped around.
Yep. One of the Singh brothers took a tremendous bump off that as well.
How great is it? I mean, the fans are complaining about Jinder Mahal.
I'm not sure so much anymore. I think they've come to accept him as champion.
He is doing a fantastic job as the world champ. He really is.
He is a great heel champion, is he not?
He's perfect.
And not just because of the natural heel nature of his presentation.
He's an old school 80s character heel.
You know, I was talking to a fan recently, and they asked me, they said, why is Jinder Mahal still champion? This was just yesterday. And I said to them, why not? There wasn't a response. And it's that logic I think you need to use. It's intriguing. You keep thinking he's, and this is what you want from a heel champion, you keep thinking he's going to lose.
Yeah.
Including in Randy Orton's hometown at Money in the Bank, and he didn't. And he keeps finding ways to win. And there's been shenanigans in just about every big match that has caused him to win.
The last 3 pay-per-view matches between Orton and Mahal have not been stressful matches for either one.
They've been they've been, what do you call that?
Smoke and mirrors. A lot of it.
Oh, there's a term. There's a term. Can I find it? I'll find it later.
Well, let me know when you do. But it's just like even this last match, they didn't do much.
Well, no one saw much either because of that structure being in the way. That was difficult to watch.
Yeah, but we had the inside scoop with the cool video cameras. But you know, I mean, it's just they're both doing a great job, and Randy Orton elevated Jinder Mahal. He is now a credible guy. He's beat Randy Orton 3 straight pay-per-views. When was the last time that's ever happened to Randy Orton?
Well, some would argue that John Cena probably did it to him without
3 straight times?
Without any evidence.
I don't believe it.
Just saying, public perception.
You know what? Don't blame the Russians on that.
Randy Orton's John Cena is not Russian.
But you're saying there's no evidence.
Folks, from that win for Mahal in the Punjabi prison match at Battleground, we now know that one of 2 men will face Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam. And we'll find out next week on SmackDown who that man will be as John Cena faces Shinsuke Nakamura in a #1 contenders match to determine who goes on to SummerSlam.
Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. Seriously.
I got nothing for that.
No, nobody. You know why? There's no backstory.
Nor will there be, because
there's no heat.
Nakamura can't talk.
There's nothing good that can come out of that.
It could be a good wrestling contest.
No, it can't be. Good matches are about one thing: heat.
Here's what I hate about this. It is so blatantly obvious who's going to win that match, be #1 contender, and go to SummerSlam. It's going to be John Cena.
But look who the sacrificial lamb is, though.
I don't mind it.
That's because you don't like Shinsuke Nakamura.
No, it's not that I don't like him. I think that his strong style presentation of past was good, but only good, and he has not done anything but simmer on the back burner in WWE since he's arrived. Yeah. I like his theme song, and it stops at that.
Some guys, much like Enzo, once they get past the theme song, they get stuck in neutral.
Yeah. So I said Cena would win. What are you saying about next week on SmackDown?
There's no doubt John Cena's going to win.
What if Nakamura does win, David Hero?
I'd be so disappointed.
But SummerSlam is pretty stacked so far.
But that's not a must-see match. There's no story.
Popcorn match on that card.
Brother, here's the thing that you got to realize.
Brother,
good brother, whatever brother you want to be, you can be the.
I do like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows.
Yeah, you do.
By the way, are they faces now? Good guys?
I think so, yeah. The story is Mahal, the Singh brothers, and the Great Khali. Those 4 against John Cena. USA versus India.
Yep. And if Cena can't overcome... Now, keep in mind, you sat in this chair, I'll give you a little bit of credit because I have a great memory. You sat in this chair a couple of months ago when Jinder Mahal won the championship and said he would go to at least SummerSlam and he would face John Cena for the championship.
Yes, I did. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. That's where the money is. You have built up a heel champion that America does not like. And they're not going to cheer for Jinder Mahal. They're going to get behind John Cena. And John Cena
even in Brooklyn
for his 17th record-breaking championship.
Folks, New Day wins the Tag Team Championships from the Usos at Battleground, and the Usos interrupted their celebration this past Tuesday on SmackDown. That championship, not a hot potato, But an interesting title change this past weekend.
Yeah, I was surprised how quick that the Usos dropped it to New Day. But those two tag teams have potential to be like British Bulldogs versus Hart Foundation type feud.
Interesting. No Matilda.
No Matilda.
No Jimmy Hart.
Well, you know what?
What about Danny Davis?
Could be the trombone could be Matilda. You know what I mean?
Isn't there a pony? Ride it.
That's
my pony.
That's Breezango with their little horse gimmick.
How long will the New Day be excelling as champions on SmackDown, in your opinion?
If Donald Trump was running,
why do you want to keep talking politics?
That he would let Tyler Breeze on the show?
Folks, Natty Neidhart won the Fatal Five-Way, the five-way match, women's match at Battleground to become the number one contender for Naomi's
coming at all.
Women's Championship. Looks like the two of them are on their way to SummerSlam as well.
Believe it. You know what? Good for Natty. You know, she's been solid for years, finally getting rewarded again with another push, because you just can't keep putting Charlotte in main events. You can't. Eventually it's going to get old and boring.
She hasn't main evented much on SmackDown since moving over during the shakeup.
But she shouldn't have to.
She's proven herself.
She is. I think Alexa Bliss had to fill the role of Charlotte, and that's why she got
she did it great.
To the moon.
Yeah.
You know, she's been, because you had the two baby faces and Nia Jax, basically. How about Emma? Going back to Raw, got killed.
In brief fashion.
She probably should have kept her mouth shut on Twitter, but not being used. But yeah, I mean, I thought SmackDown was great.
That is this week's SmackDown report, ladies and gentlemen. And that takes us to the final leg of our journey here on Channel 14, Fight TV, and YouTube. And that is the spoken word of the Pope, D'Angelo De Niro. Let's go now to PHS. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you stole that. DWHS, David Hero has spoken.
Of course. This week's DWHS, again, it's about SmackDown. And I was on Twitter watching SmackDown, and everyone's going nuts. How can the WWE give away for free Nakamura versus John Cena? For free. Nakamura versus... It should be on pay-per-view. Let's get something straight. It's no longer pay-per-view. It's a brand subscription of $9.
Saturday night's main event, basically.
You don't need... There's no reason to stack a show to try to sell a $55 pay-per-view anymore. And let's be honest, Nakamura has not gotten over with the Joe Walmart wrestling fan that goes to the SmackDown show. So what better way to get a gauge on the popularity of Nakamura than to find out what his rating will be with him and John Cena on SmackDown Live. You can see if that quarter hour, if there's a spike in the ratings, to see if Nakamura is the draw everyone thinks he is.
Yep.
And with that, David Hero has spoken.
And with that, that is this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, ladies and gentlemen. Please join us tomorrow night for Feedback Friday, where we're back to answering your comments, questions, and concerns. You can also find out how bad I whooped his tail in the draft at Battleground. For that one, this is Damian Nelson. We'll see you next time, tomorrow night on Fight TV and YouTube for the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday.